These are AI 900 practice questions that actually show up on the test. But hold on a second, here's the thing. Just memorizing answers, that's not the game plan. Seriously, the real secret to acing this exam and actually, getting this stuff is to nail down the core concepts behind all those questions. And that's exactly what we're going to do right now. We're going to break it all down. So the whole AI 900 exam really boils down to 5 main areas or pillars of knowledge. We're about to go on a quick tour through every single one. Think of this as your roadmap, the framework that holds everything together. By the end, you'll see how it all connects. All right, let's jump into our very first pillar, AI workloads and responsibility. This is all about the what and why. What can AI do inside Azure? And maybe even more important, why do we have to be so careful and responsible when we use it? This part really sets the stage for everything else. So you're going to hear the term responsible AI a lot, and for good reason. It's way more than just a buzzword. You absolutely have to understand this for the exam. At its heart, it's all about making sure the AI we build aligns with our human values. The goal is to build trust and make sure these super powerful systems affect everyone fairly. And that idea of responsible AI is built on these 6 core principles. You'll want to be familiar with all of them, making sure it's fair and inclusive, that it's reliable and safe, that it protects privacy, that we can understand how it works, that's transparency, and of course, that it's accessible, and that someone is accountable for it. It's like the ultimate checklist for building AI the right way. Now, when things go wrong, the exam wants you to know about 2 main kinds of harm. First, there's harm of allocation. This is a big one. It's when an AI system unfairly denies someone an opportunity, like a job or a loan. Then you have harm of quality of service. This is when an AI just doesn't work as well for one group of people. The classic example is a voice assistant that understands male voices way better than female voices. Okay, moving on to pillar number 2, machine learning fundamentals. If AI is the car, then machine learning is the engine. We're shifting gears from the why to the how. How do we actually teach machines to spot patterns and predict what's going to happen next based on data? And this is really the core idea of machine learning. It's all about letting computers figure things out from data on their own, instead of a developer having to write code for every single possible situation. This ability to find patterns without being told exactly what to look for, well, that's what makes it so powerful. So, how does a machine actually learn? Well, for the exam, you really need to know the 2 big ones, supervised and unsupervised learning. Think of supervised learning like you're studying for a test with a stack of flashcards. You've got the question on one side and the correct answer on the other. The data is all nice and labeled for you. But unsupervised learning, that's totally different. It's like someone dumps a giant box of mixed up Legos in front of you and just says, sort these. No instructions, no labels. Your job is just to find the patterns and group them together. See the difference? Now, Azure has this awesome tool called AutoML, or Automated Machine Learning, that makes this whole process way easier. The big takeaway here is that it does all the heavy lifting for you. As you can see, you just tell it what kind of problem you're trying to solve, give it your data, set a few options, and then you let it run. Azure goes off and tests a bunch of different models and then comes back and tells you which one worked best. It's a real game changer. And that brings us to pillar number 3, computer vision. So we've talked about how AI learns. Now let's talk about how it sees. This whole section is about giving our applications the power to look at images and videos and actually understand what's in them. This is pretty much the official definition. We're trying to give machines the ability to see. Computer vision is all about teaching a computer to do the things our own eyes and brains do without even thinking, like recognizing a friend's face, identifying a car, or just generally making sense of a scene. This diagram shows a really common and efficient way this works in the real world. Let's just walk through it real quick. So a user uploads a picture. That action automatically kicks off a little piece of code. That's the Azure function, which takes the image and sends it over to the computer vision service to get analyzed. The service sends back the results, what it found in the image, and we can store that info in a database. It's a super clean, automated workflow. And the Azure AI Vision Service can do a ton of different things. Here are 4 key tasks you'll definitely want to know. It can pull text out of an image, that's called OCR. It can do really detailed analysis to identify objects and people. It can handle face recognition, and it can even do something called spatial analysis, which is just a fancy way of saying it can track people moving around in a video. All right, this is a big one for the test, so listen up. You have to know the difference between object detection and image tagging. They sound similar, but they're not. Object detection is super specific. It says, hey, There's a cat right here, and it draws a little box around it giving you the exact coordinates. But image tagging is more general. It just looks at the whole picture and slaps on some labels, like cat, grass, outdoors. It tells you what's in the image but not where. It's a really important distinction. Time for our fourth pillar, natural language processing, or NLP. So we've covered how AI learns and how it sees. Now, how does it listen and read? This is all about understanding human language, whether it's written down or spoken out loud. You can think of NLP as the ultimate translator between us and computers. I mean, think about it. Our language is messy, right? It's full of slang and context and sarcasm. NLP is the incredible field of AI that helps machines cut through all that noise and actually understand what we mean. This table is a perfect cheat sheet for the core NLP stuff you need to know. Key phrase extraction that finds the main points. Named entity recognition pulls out specific things, like people's names or company names. Sentiment analysis figures out if a piece of text is positive or negative. And then you've got the ones you probably already know, speech-to-text and translation. And Azure keeps things simple with how it packages all this up. Just remember this. If you're dealing with written text, you're going to use the Azure AI Language Service. If you're dealing with audio or someone speaking, you're going to use the Azure AI Speech Service. Easy, right? Text is language, sound is speech. And here we are, our fifth and final pillar. And honestly, it's the one everyone is talking about right now, generative AI. Up until this point, we've mostly talked about AI that understands and analyzes stuff that already exists. Now we're talking about AI that can create brand new things from scratch. And this is the key thing to get. Generative AI isn't just copying and pasting. It learns the really deep patterns and the structure of all the data it was trained on. And then it uses that understanding to generate something totally new and original. That could be an email, a song, a picture, or even computer code. And the ways we can use this are just exploding. We're seeing it everywhere, right? From really smart chatbots that feel like you're talking to a person, to tools that help programmers write and fix their code, all the way to systems that can write marketing emails for you. It's changing pretty much everything. When it comes to Azure, the main door to all this power is the Azure OpenAI service. For the exam, just lock this in your brain. This is the service that lets you use those huge, powerful models like the GPT series, but with all the security and reliability of the Azure cloud behind it. And that's the tour. We did it. We've gone through all 5 pillars of the AI-900. We started with the basics, what AI workloads are and why we have to be responsible. Then we dove into how machines learn, how they see, how they understand what we say, and finally, how they can create brand new things. Look, passing the exam is a fantastic goal, but it's really just the beginning. You now have the fundamental concepts that are powering some of the most incredible technology on the planet. So the real question isn't just, can you pass the test? The real question is, now that you've got the fundamentals, what are you going to go build with them?